Okay, so one, two, three.
Greetings. My name is Bryan Alexander. I'm coming to you from the English speaking world. I'm right now in the city of Washington, D.C., in the United States. My position is as a senior scholar at Georgetown University, and that means I conduct research and I also teach classes. I have been a Teach the Future leader for at least 2 years. Now, I was asked why I decided to be part of Teach the Future, which is a great question, and I had a few answers. One is I wanted to expand the futurist field's reach. I wanted more people to be able to learn from what a futurist has to say. I also wanted to give more people access to futurist tools so that they would be able to use forecasting, horizon scanning, scenario creation, and so on in their own lives, either their professional lives, their political lives, their personal lives. And on top of that, I'm nervous about the futurist profession aging. I think it's getting older and older, which is in line with a lot of developmental curves. But I was worried about that, and so first, I'd like to see more young futurists, and teaching the futures, especially at primary and secondary levels, is one way of doing that. Second, I'd like to learn from the rising generation. Teachers are always able to learn from their students, and I'd like to see what perspectives they bring, how they view the world, what their experience is. I think that can enrich the futures field as well as enrich the whole world. I was asked what I've done through Teach the Future for really teaching the future, and there are a few things. First, and most easily, is I've been doing social media discussions. That is through Twitter, through Facebook, through my blog, through Mastodon. I've been sharing information about my teaching, and as well sharing information about the Teach the Future project. Second, I had Teach the Future's founder, Peter Bishop, as a guest on my weekly video conference program, the Future Trends Forum. And so the forum community was able to ask Peter questions, and we had a great conversation, which we then recorded and published to YouTube. And on top of that, I've actually been teaching the future at a graduate level. I'm teaching within a master's program at Georgetown University, and that includes one full-time class on the future of the university. So I've had my students do horizon scanning, I've had them build scenarios, I've had them read a lot and also make artifacts, including models of future universities to come. I'm very excited about that. And I also include a futurist perspective in all my other teaching. So this semester, I'm teaching a class on educational technology. And right now, as we come near the end of the semester, we're concluding by examining where educational technology might be headed. What are some of the present trends, and what are some of the possibilities we could imagine? Now, the last question I was asked was, how does this help us have an impact on peace or social transformation? I think the best way is that futures thinking helps us imagine different futures. So rather than saying, well, the future is going to be like this, it lets us imagine multiple outcomes. And I think that multiplicity really frees our imagination to break out of the present day and think about ways that sometimes things can be worse, but as well as how they could be better. So how we can then do a gap analysis, thinking how do we get from here to there? So if we can imagine a future which is much more peaceful, what are the necessary stages to go through along the way? If we can imagine a world that's socially transformed in a positive way, what are some of the necessary steps to take along that path? I think also that if we're very focused on the present, we can sometimes be very negative, especially if we are living in a bad situation or if we spend a lot of time listening to mass media that thrives on negative stories. Teaching the future lets us break out of that mold and think about possibilities. And I think that's very much all to the good. That's all from me. Thank you.